Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to our today's webinar. So we're going to give the rest a few minutes to join, then we can start off. Meanwhile, we can be knowing each other. So you can type on the chat box your name and where you come from. For those who are comfortable with sharing the information, then we can start immediately at 19:10. So invite your friends to join so that we start the webinar. We can now start off our webinar. Thank you everyone for attending, for making time today for this webinar. We are really glad to have you in today's webinar, and we're going to have important information about the German pathway for those who want to go study, for those who want to go work. So welcome everyone, and I'll give this chance for my colleagues to introduce themselves, those who are with us today, and then now we can start off. Zablon, you can start.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Yes, my name is Zablon. I'm the IT assistant at Passcode, and welcome all.
Thank you, Zablon. Eddie?
Yes, my name is Eddie Ondiek. I head the marketing department at Passcode Consultants.
Thank you, Eddie. Mary Sylvia? Okay, once she is able to speak, she will introduce herself. So we'll go to today's webinar where we're here. I'll introduce myself first. My name is Sharon Omboy. I'm the languages coordinator at Passcode Global Consultants, the head of languages, and I'm glad that you created time to join today's webinar. It means for those who are here, you're really interested in either relocating to Germany or Austria or any German-speaking country. So we are really glad to have you. We're looking forward to have you in our next intakes, and prepare as many questions as possible today. As we continue with the presentation, you can be writing the questions on the chat box so that my team will be answering you as we go on. So we'll start with the first presentation, with the first slide, sorry. So basically we'll start by who is Passcode. So Passcode is a global company that helps people migrate to. Okay, I hope you can now hear me well. I've seen someone say they can't get me well. I hope I'm audible enough now. So at Passcode, we help people who want to relocate to abroad and get greener pastures. Mostly we have the USRN pathway, or we help nurses strictly to do their NCLEX, and also we also help them with the NCLEX registrations. So for the US pathway, we only deal with nurses. But for other pathways like Germany, we deal with students through a program called Ausbildung, and also registered nurses. Okay, so that is basically what Passcode is. We help people move to abroad to greener pastures. We also have the languages, the proficiency exams, like the IELTS, the OET, TOEFL, We also have that training at Passcode Global. We also have fingerprint cards for FBI. We also have I've talked about the registrations part, where we help a nurse from CGFNS, now called to Merit, up to scheduling of the NCLEX exam, those who want to endorse their license, CV alignment. So all those are the services that we offer at Passcode Global. We can go to the next one, number 3. To the next slide. So why choose our program? Now, in this case, we are talking about German. Why do you need to choose our German program? We have language training. I believe you all know that in German language learning, there are different levels. So the first level is A1 level. Then we have A2 level. Then we have B1 level, B2 level, C1 level, C2 level. In fact, let me start by teaching you a little German. Today we'll just do greetings. Then the next time we'll talk about sich vorstellen, which means introducing yourself. So in German, good morning, we say guten Tag. That is good morning. Good afternoon, you say guten Tag is a greeting that can be used either after the day or during the day. Then we have Guten Abend. Guten Abend is a greeting that you use in the evening. Then when someone is going to sleep, you tell them, we've lost the slide, Zablon. When someone is going to sleep, you tell them, Guten Nacht. Guten Nacht. So morning is Guten Morgen. Then we have Guten Tag. We have Guten Abend. Then we have Gute Nacht. So today you've learned some ein bisschen Deutsch. That means a little bit German. So you can be able to ask someone, you can greet someone during the day, you can greet someone in the morning, you can greet someone in the evening, and you can also wish someone a good night. So why do you need to choose our German program? I don't know if the rest of you can see the screen. Please type on the chat box so that we can know. Okay. So I can be telling you more about our program. So why do you need to choose to do German language with Passcode? First of all our classes are recorded. So in case you miss a class, you can always listen to the recording at your convenient time. So our classes happen from Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. So in German, we say am Montag bis Donnerstag. Am Montag bis Donnerstag. So that is from Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m., which is a bend. And now the good thing with Passcode Language German is that all our classes are recorded. So in case you are working, you are driving home, you had a commitment maybe on Tuesday, you didn't manage to join the classes are all recorded, so you can always listen to them at your convenient time. That is one. Two, we have expert tutors. The IT team is working on the screen, so they're going to project it once they've sorted it out. Kindly, apologies for that. So the other thing, we have qualified tutors. So for all our tutors, they have to have a C2 German language certificate. And we are lucky to have tutors both in Kenya and in Germany as well. So you're going to be getting first-hand accents from the tutors in Germany because it prepares you well for the exam, so that you know at this time, this is the accents. For those who want to do the USD exam, they are going to use the Austria accents. For those who want to do the Goethe exam, they are going to use the German accent. The difference is a little bit small, but it's there. So we prepare you adequately for that. Then in our program, we're going to give you 2 cuts and end of module exam. So we have to prepare you well so that by the time you're going to test, we are expecting you to pass this exam. Because remember, you've paid lots of money to do this language. So you want to make sure that by the time you're doing the exam, you will pass the exam, right? The other thing, we also have confusing English with German. In German, we say habe. So we also have a job search department. So once you're done learning the German language, we do not leave you hanging. We also help you with job search assistance. And for those who want to go to school, we also help you with school placements. Currently, we have an employer who's in need of nurses, B1, nurses who have B1. So please, if you know a nurse who has a B1 certificate and they do not have a job, refer them to us for German and Austria. So for nurses who have B1, we currently have lots of slots. Reach out to us, then we will guide you. Right? So we help those who want to go to school through a program called Ausbildung, and we also help nurses to go and work there. Next slide. Right. So language proficiency journey. So we offer all levels of German language. We have A1 to A2. We have A1. We have A2. We have B1. We have B2. Then we have C1 and C2. All right. So those are the different modules that are there. I'll explain what each module means. So for A1 is the beginner level. So for someone who's just starting German language, they've never done German language before, they have no knowledge, they are going to start with A1. Then after A1, you proceed now to A2. In A1, you will just learn basic information. Greetings, introducing yourself, sentence construction. In B1, sentence construction is purely SVO, subject, verb, object. So you will construct sentence like, Ich trinke Kaffee. I drink coffee. So then you go to A2. You now start adding time to the sentence, indirect objects, prepositions, all that. Then in B1 now, this is now a level where you can comfortably speak in German, fluent German, you can converse with a native. B2 now is the level where you actually speak like a native. Then for C1 and C2, those are the advanced levels. So at Passcode, A1 and A2 levels, A1, A2 and B1, we charge 25,000 shillings, Kenyan shillings. Those using the dollar, we charge $250. So each module runs for 2 months. A1 runs for 2 months, you pay 25,000 or $250. A2 runs for 2 months, $250 or 25,000 Kenyan shillings. B1 runs for 3 months. This is because this is the level most people are supposed to test in the respective organizations or schools and get the certificate. So we have to give you a one-on-one coaching or rather training with a tutor. The tutor will have to assess you and see if you're ready. You have to do lots of mocks so that we confirm you're ready to go and test. So that's why B1 level has more time. We allocate more time for B1. B2 is 4 months. The same. So for B1 is 3, B2 is 4 months. So for B2, the reason why it's 4 months is because we have the reason why B2 is 4 months is because we have two parts in B2 training. We have B21 and B22, right? So that's why it has lots of time. Next slide. So this is a picture of how our portal looks like. So once you make the payments, we send you an introductory package, the books, the forms that you're supposed to fill, registration to our e-learning portal. So this is how it looks like. Next slide, please. We'll finish with that one. Let's go to the next slide. That one. So now we're looking at the job opportunities that we have in Germany. These are the major ones, but of course there are others. But when you look at the major ones, these are the major ones. We have the healthcare setup. We have the engineering parts. We have the hospitality. We have the drivers, warehouse staff, cleaning personnel. So it doesn't mean that the others are not there. It just means that these are the most marketable jobs that we have in Germany. So the 4 of them. Let's go to the next one. Now, there are different pathways that you can use to go to Germany. But for today's webinar, I will just talk about 2 of them. Then the next 2 we'll talk about in the next webinar. So please purpose to attend. So I'll talk about Ausbildung and I'll talk about nursing. So for Ausbildung, this is a vocational training where you get to work and at the same time study. So you have an advantage of working and studying at the same time. So this is what Ausbildung means. So you combine practical work and also classwork. Next slide. So for Ausbildung, for you to qualify to do Ausbildung in Germany, it means you have to, the first qualification for you is to have German language, either up to B1 or B2 level, depending on the Ausbildung that you're going to do. The next requirement is for you to have a Form 4 or a KCSE certificate with a minimum grade of D+, D for dog, plus and above. So those are the 2 qualifications you need to qualify to do Ausbildung in Germany. The first one is you need to have German language, either B1 or B2. And the next one is a D+ and above in your KCSE. So there are different Ausbildungs that we have. We have Ausbildung in nursing. We have Ausbildung in engineering. We have Ausbildung in hospitality. Those are the major courses that we have for Ausbildung. So we have nursing, we have medicine as well, we have engineering, we have hospitality, and chef, and butcher, sorry, not chef, butcher, because chefs are in hospitality. So those are the major ones, the major Ausbildungs, the ones that are always available for every intake. There are 2 intakes for Ausbildung in April and October. So those are the 2 intakes that we have for Ausbildung. If you want to go to in April, by now we should have already done your applications, maybe are waiting for your visa dates. All right. Yes, you're going to get the recording after the class. I've seen that question. We're going to post the recording tomorrow, so we'll share the link in the group. so that you can go through it maybe sometime later. So then let me give you an example of what I mean by Ausbildung. For example, if you're going to do Ausbildung in nursing and you're going to Aga Khan, so you're going to be learning in Aga Khan hospital school, then you're going to be working in Aga Khan now, the hospital. So that is what I mean by Ausbildung. If you're doing Ausbildung in engineering, it means you're going to be hired by a company, work for them, and also study in their school. So Ausbildung is a very nice pathway. It is something that even for those who've done the respective courses in their different countries, we can attest now that the jobs are very minimal. So Ausbildung is a pathway that you can use and migrate to Germany, start learning, start working. Most Ausbildung courses start from 2 years to 3 years. The most Ausbildung courses are 3-year course, and most of them are diplomas. But the good thing is, Ausbildung is purely sponsored. You do not pay anything to learn in Germany because education is free in Germany. So once you use Ausbildung to go to Germany, let's say you've done a diploma in engineering, it means you can always advance your level of education because education is free of charge in Germany. You can confirm that. So Ausbildung is a very nice pathway for those who have students who've just done Form 4, waiting for their results. Let them start learning German language so that by the time they're getting the results, they have a B1, we start the applications, then they enroll in Germany. The earlier the better, because I believe starting something, hitting the iron while it's still hot is the best way to go about things. So that is about Ausbildung. Then we have the next pathway is nursing. You can be writing down the questions. So the other pathway is nursing. So people who are already nurses in their respective countries have a very good advantage because if you are an RN at the moment, the only thing you need to do is learn German language up to B1. So we've said each module takes 2 months. So A1 we have 2 months, A2 we have 2 months, B1 we have 3 months. So that is 7 months of learning. Then you go test. I forgot to mention there are 2 bodies that administer German exam, which are recognized by the embassy. Please do not be conned out there. Let no one tell you that they will give you German language certificates because only 2 certificates are recognized. So either Goethe Institution or your SD. It is O with an umlaut SD. So once you go test, you get the certificates, you now come back to us. We now start the applications for you, and in 4 to 6 months, you should have already relocated to Germany. So for nurses, Germany is the fastest pathway you can use to relocate. So you do language up to a B1 level. Then after doing B1, we now start your applications. In 4 to 6 months, you should have now relocated to Germany. This process is different for everyone because let me give you a scenario. For someone who has all their documents, all their transcripts ready, they have their passports, they have everything that we need, their process will take much faster time. So I know I have actually seen that question. So that's why I've decided to answer it. For those, how long does the process take? it takes approximately 4 to 6 months, but it's purely dependent on an individual. So if you have all your documents ready, of course, the process will take much faster time. If now by the time we're starting the applications is when you're applying for your passport, you're getting your transcripts from your school, of course, it will take some time because this, you can go to the nursing pathway, Zablon, the slide on nursing. So those are some of the determinants that say how much your process is going to take. But for most people, 4 to 6 months. Okay, so after now you get to Germany, it means you're going to continue doing your B2 certificate. So this is how you go to Germany as a nurse. The first thing is you get a German B1 certificate, then you get an employment contract. So we have a legal team that deals with employment contract before you sign. So you have to go through the contract with you, analyze everything about the pay, how much are you getting paid, is it worth it because of your years of experience, and so on. So then after that, we have a preparatory program where we're going to guide you, prepare you for culture shock. We have people who do the same. All right. Then after that, now we go to document preparation and visa application. So for nurses, I've seen a question. Do you pay everything after now learning German language? No. Your employer is going to cater for everything after now you have signed the contract because you've already entered into an agreement with them. So it means that you've accepted to work in that specific hospital. You've accepted on the payment terms, which you negotiate with the employer. So they will actually cater everything for you after now you've signed the contract. If you see that the contract is not good enough, you're not getting enough benefits, we look for another employer. And I've said at the moment, if you are a nurse with a B1 certificate, either a BSN or a diploma nurse, please reach out to us. Our number is +2547 or 0768184141. Reach out to us today and we're going to help you move to Germany or Austria. So for nurses, this is a very short pathway. Do you need NCLEX to go to Germany? No. You do not need NCLEX because you just need a B1 language certificate. Germans don't speak in German. So that's why learning German language is very essential. Because you're going to be conversing with these people through German language. Okay, I hope I'm clear on that. So any question that you have, let me mention something. Once you go now to Germany with a B1, it means you're automatically required to do B2. But for B2, you're going to do it in Germany. Okay? So you're going to do B2 in Germany. Once you pass B2 now, you become a registered nurse in Germany. So with a B1, you will be working as a nurse assistant. Please note that for a period of 4 months as you do B2, if you now pass B2, you now become a registered nurse in Germany. So those are the two pathways that you can use to relocate to Germany. And I would like now to have questions regarding the same. Let me read some of the questions in the chat box as I answer them. So the first question is, in every level, do you need to do the exam, or if you require B1, you will do B1 only? So what happens if you require a B1 certificate? We as Passcode Global have internal exams, which are the standards of either of the two bodies that administer the exam. So you don't have, we will give you an end of module exam for each module, but for certification, you can just do the module that you're required to have by the embassy, either B1 or a B2, depending on what you need to do. Right? So I believe I've answered that. If I have a family, how am I going to relocate? Is it a must for my partner to do German language before we relocate? Yes. For everyone to go to Germany, they need to learn German language. So what you can do is you can relocate, then your spouse joins you later with either A1 or an A2, depending on the state that you're in and the requirements that they have. So they don't have to do up to B1 level. For those who are joining their spouses, their family, A1, A2 is okay. So for those who are interested in the job search department, please reach out to our number. Our number, Eddie, you can reshare the number again. +254 68184 141. That is our number. Reach out and then we're going to guide you. Okay, let me see another question. What time are the classes? The classes happen from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. And I said that they are recorded and you can listen to the recording at your convenient time. When is the next intake? Our next intake for German language is on 12th of January. Those interested to join the class, please reach out to the number that I've shared. Then I'm going to send you a form that you're going to fill. Then we'll get in touch. Do you need to pay all the money at once to start the class? No. You can make the payment in installments, 50%. So before you start the classes, you pay 50%, then the rest you pay after 1 month of training. So you can, because our class is starting on 12th of January and we have limited slots remaining, you can reach out to us. Then we are going to guide you on how to go about the registration. We'll send you the payment details. Then we send you an introductory package. All right. The cost of learning the German language, I had said it's 25,000 Kenyan shillings, or $250 for our international clientele. Yes, education is free of charge in Germany as long as you have German language. So for education, it's purely free of charge. You do not pay anything for you to learn in Germany. So for someone who's in a position to ask any more question, you can unmute yourself, then ask the question. We are here to answer all your questions today. There is no age limit. I can see someone asking the age limit. There is no age limit for you to go to Germany. But for Ausbildung, most of the companies have an age limit of 35 years, 35 to 40. Can you do other jobs apart from your nursing jobs there? Yes. You're not fixed to doing one job once you get to Germany. Depending on your contract, there are some contracts that says you have to work for 40 hours and so on. So you can, of course, have part-time jobs. So you're not limited to doing one job only. You can, even if you're doing Ausbildung, you're not limited to working in one job only. When you're available, because you're actually supposed to be in school for 3 days, you can apply for other jobs. If you have all your documents ready, the process takes 4 to 6 months, because we have to send your documents to Germany for them to be verified. Then they send a report. The report is called an Anerkennung report. So that report shows if your level of education matches the level of education in Germany. This is for nurses. So once they send the report, this is equivalent to a CES report. I know most of you nurses know that. So an Anerkennung report is an equivalent of CES report, which shows the number of hours that you have. Does the level of education match in your respective countries, match the level of education in Germany? If you're less, they are going to give you a way forward. If you qualify, then we go to the next step. So if your Anerkennung report has insufficient of some hours, let's say maybe pediatric, geriatric, they are going to give you a recommendation on how to go about it. Right, I believe I have answered that question. So kindly note that Passcode is a self-sponsored agency or a self-sponsored company. We do not sponsor anything, and once you get your contract, we do not benefit from anything. So we don't pay anything for you, so that once now you get an employer, they start sending us some money, deducting it from your salary. No. Ours is a self-sponsored program. We charge for the fee for the classes and the job search as well. Okay. So I've seen a question on taxes. So that will be the next, on our next webinar, we'll be discussing the taxes, how taxes are charged in Germany, the payments and all that. We have a guest, one of our students who relocated to Germany. So they are going to join the webinar, and then they are going to share with us all those information. So please purpose to attend the next webinar. We'll be talking about the taxes, how life is in Germany, Austria. We'll have someone from Austria, the other person from Germany, and they're going to guide you step by step on what to expect. Yes, you can join, a nurse intern can join the German language program, because by the time now you're finished with your interning, you get the license from NCK. We already have the German language B1 certificate. So the next step is automatically now starting the job search. And in 4 to 6 months, you should have now relocated. So in fact, for interns, you have an advantage, because you're still waiting for your license. So as you intern, you can take advantage of the online learning classes and start learning German as early as now. Once you get the license, we start the application and you automatically relocate. All right. Yes, we have physical classes as well, and we charge 30,000 Kenyan shillings for the physical classes, which happen either during morning hours or afternoon. But for the online classes, it's purely from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. When we'll be having our next free class, I will share the link with you. Join and get a gist of how classes are run at Passcode Global. Get to meet some of our tutors, what to expect during the classes, and so on. So from Passcode, I really want to thank you for attending today's webinar, and I'm looking forward to having you into more webinars. Zablon, next slide. Okay. That one is okay. We're looking forward to having you in our next webinars and in our next class as well, which will be starting on 12th of January 2026. So reach out to us via 2547 68184. We are going to be more than glad to help you. And we're going to hold your hand through this journey from learning the language up to relocating. So we will not leave you hanging. We are located at KTDA Plaza, 4th floor, Nairobi. That is where our regional offices are located. And now I want to hand over this time to Mary Sylvia to proceed.
Okay, good evening. My name is Mary Sylvia. Thank you so much for joining us in this webinar. We believe that you've had a very insightful session. And thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing this with the team. I believe those who joined us will not leave the same way they joined. So now that most of the questions have been handled, and a lot of questions have been asked, mine is just to encourage each and every one of us who has joined today that let's share with other people there that there are more opportunities in German. And as we also endeavor to explore global opportunities, let us encourage one another to join. At Passcode, they're going to guide you. We're going to take you through all the steps. And I believe that it shall be of great benefit. And it's our joy to see more people joining our global world. Just to echo on a few questions, I don't know if Sharon, you were able to handle them, but I'm sure those that were not answered here can reach to us. We've shared our numbers on the chat box. Please feel free to catch up with us and ask any question. So for Eugene, for someone who is asking when is the next online intake, we will have our online intake on the 12th of January. The next intake is on the 12th of January and the registration is ongoing. Please share with us your details and we will get back to you to get more information from you as well. So having not answered most of the questions, I'll ask if
Just a
there's anything
minute.
that Eddie can say as we close the webinar. Then after Eddie, I'll be able to close. Eddie, can you
Let
hear
me
me?
add something.
Yeah.
I've seen a question. I think
Please
that's
go
the
ahead.
only question. I've seen a question. I think it's the only one I didn't answer. If my surname differs with that on my academic certificates, can this affect my verification of documents? Yes, it does. Before you start this process, now the job search part, for the German language learning, it's okay. You can start it. But before you now start the other part for job search, you need to make sure that all your names are matching on all your documents because they need to confirm that this is the same person. So yes, it will affect. Reach out to us. We are going to guide you on how to go about that. You can proceed.
Thank you, Sharon, for that clarification. I believe we all in line. Is there any other suggestion or insight one might be having before we close the session?
Maybe someone
If
can
there's no
unmute.
any other, then allow me to end the webinar, and please ensure that you let your friends know that we're teaching German and we have more opportunities for people who are seeking for opportunities in Germany, especially for B1 nurses who are looking to go to Austria and German. Share the word to the rest of your team members. And see you in the next webinar. Please leave at your own pleasure.
Just a minute. I've seen someone ask about bank balance. You don't need to have any blocked accounts for you to do Ausbildung. If you want to go to Germany with a blocked account, That means you have a certain amount of money in your account. You can now relocate to study in an English speaking university. That is when you need to have a blocked account. But for Ausbildung, you do not need any blocked account. You do not need to have any amount of money in your account for you to qualify for Ausbildung. I've seen someone ask for the number again. It's +2547 68184141. For the BSNs or the diploma nurses, as long as you have the B1, you a question I've seen, do BSN starts as nurse assistants in Germany? Yes. Requirement for nurse in Germany are the same as with Australia? No. These are two different countries. There is Austria, which is a German-speaking country, and there is Australia, which is an English-speaking country. So the requirements for nurse in Germany and Australia are totally different, because in Germany you need German language B1. Now you need things like IELTS and so on. So for
Yeah, I think
any
now we can now end the webinar.
yes, we can. Thank you
Please,
so much for your time.
okay. The panelists, the attendees, we really thank you for that. And someone is just asking, can I get a job offer as a teacher? I think the answer is yes if you go through our house building program. Or can answer Sharon clarify that as we close?
Yes, as long as you have German language, you can get the job as a tutor. But you have
Yeah.
to now undergo a certain training, because our level, our teaching here is different from the curriculum here is different from Germany. So you'll have to go back to do a bit of advancement, then you can now become a teacher.
Thank you so much. I haven't seen any more questions. I believe that we've enjoyed the session, and let's work together as Passcode. We're ready to journey with you and see you going global. Karibu sana Passcode, and to our next webinar, please don't miss.